What was a moment in which you felt that you leveled up IRL? When I was about 13 and a whiny little crap, I went on a canoeing trip with Boy Scouts. The hardest parts were carrying our canoes over dry land, and I was always resentful at having to carry heavy crap. Anyway, after one particularly long crossing when even our guide had to take a rest afterward, I put my stuff down and was shocked to find I wasn't even mad. I was just relieved it was over and proud of myself for sticking through it. I guess I took a level in emotional maturity. Always did hate scouts though. The first time I put on my glasses at age 9. In one beautiful moment, the poster across the wall transformed from fuzzy mass that probably had some blue and green into picturesque grassy field with an ad message I could read with complete clarity. I remember when I first got mine in elementary school and thinking, wow, there's so many leaves on the trees. Haha, haven't thought of that in a while. When I got my first real job, I still have a bunch of loans and bills to pay, but holy crap is it convenient. I can't ball out on extravagant things, but if I need something like a new toothbrush or shirt, I just buy it. If I'm running errands and didn't bring a lunch, I can just go somewhere and eat out. The peace of mind is worth the grind. I mean, depends how much grind. But man, having a stable income is much better than just lying around doing basically the bare minimum to be alive with crap clothes and bags full of holes and telling the landlord that you're looking for work and will definitely pay them back. Honestly, just going to college. We didn't think I'd be able to complete high school and thought I would never be able to go to college, Asperger's and some other stuff. I'm getting my degree, I live on my own, and I have a job. I feel like I've leveled up. This is a perfect example, I think, because you didn't just go to college as a change of environment. It also really represents your personal growth and becoming a more independent and more powerful person. Last year, all within 4 months, promoted at work, wife gives birth to my first child, bought a house, sold a car and furnished the house with that money. A year before this I was a bum. Now I'm a father, getting paid, I have responsibilities and stuff. Doing the dang thing. How do you go from being a bum to having a house in a year? That's quite impressive. Getting my first apartment, buying my first car without a cosign, and being an adult, meaning I buy a bunch of junk food without the guilt. Moving out was mine as well. Suddenly I wasn't freaking around in my parents' house with all this free time because I had real chores to do and meals to prep. I think I matured faster in 3 months on my own than I did in the 10 years before that. First thing that popped into mind was from years and years ago. I'd taken a job with a log cabin company, but didn't have a clue what I was doing, so mostly just carried lumber, fetched tools, and did other really simple tasks. I started out feeling weak, kinda scared of heights, and basically useless. After a while though, I'd been on a few different job sites. Had worked a lot of 14-hour days in bad weather, constantly walking up and down slopes carrying heavy stuff. Started helping with more of the actual fabrication and construction along the way. Then there was this moment where something tough had to be done and I just knew how to do it and that I could. Before I really thought about it, I'd grabbed a skill saw, hopped to the top of a 20-foot ladder, pick up one end of a massive beam and held it one shoulder, trimmed down the support it was sitting on with the saw in my other hand before setting the beam back down on it. Didn't really think about what I'd done except being happy I'd done it right. Then I looked down and 4 or 5 of the guys were there looking up at what I'd done, and the foreman just said, "Dang, I'm buying your lunch today. How many hands do you have?" I spoke at my dad's funeral. It was the most painful thing I have ever done. I feel that without him I have had to be more independent, no more safety net. I'm so sorry for your loss. I know my world is a little darker without my dad in it. The day after my husband and I got married, we left for our honeymoon. We had a 17-hour drive and stopped at a gas station in the middle of nowhere for a restroom snack break. I had picked up a snack and was just hanging out by the restroom when the guy working asked if I was ready to pay. I responded, "No, I'm just waiting for my husband to come out of the restroom. Thanks." That was the first time I referred to him as my husband, and right then I felt like I leveled up. I can see the sparkles and the number of points he leveled up by. Learn to weld. It was easy as crap. It felt like a world of possibilities just sprawled open in front of me. If welding was this super difficult thing that was actually fairly straightforward to start, What about everything else? What about scuba diving, piloting, electrical engineering? It made me realize I can pick up skills really easily, but putting forth the effort to practice and master them is a bit of a B. I have to weld a lot because my hobby is racing, but I'm still poor. I freaking hate welding. Hats off to you, man. I used to be really into rock climbing because the girl I was dating got me into it. She had this dude she was friends with who was pretty good. Not one of the best guys at the gym, but better than average. We'd climb together quite a bit, and I remember he was working on beta for this one route and asked me about it, and I basically said, why don't you just do this, and proceeded to show him. All he did after was look at me and say, crap dude, you've gotten a lot stronger. It felt pretty dang good being able to do something he couldn't, even though I started climbing years after he did. Recently, my child came back to live with me. He's 17 and had been a victim of parental abduction by his non-custodial mother. I had a conversation with him about how I didn't feel good about myself because I couldn't provide enough for him. He had introduced me to several of his peers that all call me dad now. He told me that he knew I was trying, and that I had been a better father than any of the guys his mom had dated. He was proud of me, and the only way he wouldn't be is if I ever gave up. His peers, my surrogate children, seconded that thought. I feel as though I leveled up parenting skills. TLDR. Child is proud of me. Dad level increased. When my first band played its first show, and it was packed, other band related level ups being flashed, winning battle of the bands, making merch and selling all of it. There was one moment a while back where I drew some random character of mine. The whole process from start to finish felt smooth. Then I looked at it and started noticing all the differences between the character I'd drawn and other characters other people drew. It wasn't a negative comparison, just a sort of I draw noses like this, other people draw them like that, and I realized that instead of noticing mistakes, I was noticing my own art style. Of course, since then I've kept drawing and improving, so that picture isn't really anything special now, but it really made me realize that grinding drawing EXP had actually paid off. Finding your art style is so hard, and being able to recognize something as your style is even harder. I also learned that art you enjoy is not necessarily your style. I have a great appreciation for artists who do line work like Kim Young-ji, but that's just not my style no matter how hard I try to incorporate it. So kudos to you for finding and recognizing it. When my kid was born, not the exact moment he was born, it was the first night home with him. Alone with just him and my wife, that's when it sank in, you're freaking father now. Congrats. My son, who is 10 months old, walked over to me the other day holding a wooden sword. He then yelled a hearty bolt of gibberish. In shock I looked over to my wife and said he just leveled up. She then scowled and said, this isn't D&D, nerd. Wow, what a C. Getting my first 90 days of sobriety from drug abuse, then eventually got to a year. Just picked up my 3 years clean fob from Narcotics Anonymous. When I moved country, not so much a level up, more a prestige system. Start a game from scratch but with some extra powers that let you get further in the game. That's how I feel every time I change jobs, lol. My salary has gone up to 4x each time I've changed jobs since I was 20. When I divorced my unfaithful wife and didn't fall apart completely, I sought help, paid off all my debts, and now have total freedom to travel, to sleep with, buy whatever I want. Sleep with. It's called winning. Glad you made it out alive. TLDR. Got wrecked, didn't stay wrecked. I started my first savings account yesterday and immediately put 2k away. I've been working full time since December and I was able to start actually saving in March. I've never completely supported myself and it feels good. Granted, I'm saving money because I'm renting off my parents and I have an so who helps with gas, but he's not been working regularly, so I cover bills and rent. He contributes, but I'd make it on my own and that feels good. The first time I realized that my own happiness couldn't be gained from one person, that I actually was the only one holding myself back from being happy. Swear since that day I've been gaining XP like a madman. Yes, oh my god. That's basically the definition of my last month. Feels so good. After spending years and years in the restaurant business, I was able to finally get a real job with a steady paycheck, benefits, and have weekends and holidays off. I remember waking up the first Saturday after starting my new job, thinking I had to get up and get ready for work, when it slowly dawned on me that no, you don't do that crap anymore. You're off today. I remember dozing back off with a huge smile. When I finally worked up the strength to break off a 5.5-year relationship, where I was told how to live, how to dress, among everything else. Been almost 2 years and life has been amazing. I was a pretty selfish kid, probably about 5 or 6, refusing to share anything, and then one day my mom took me out to MCD's to eat, and we were finishing up the fries, and then there was only one fry left, and I instantly grabbed it. My mom didn't say anything, she probably didn't think much of it. Anyway, there I was, with the fry in my hand, and without thinking. I still don't know why I did this, because prior to this I hadn't made any conscious decision to not be a selfish prick. I broke it in half and gave it to my mom. I was just as surprised as she was. But it was at that moment I felt I had suddenly experienced sharing as caring for myself, and how good it actually felt. For the past 2 years, I've been working as a producer at a media development company which caters to a niche, but surprisingly large audience. I would come in every morning, do a little bit of research, then write the scripts for the day, and if I was very lucky, I would finish just before the on-screen talent arrived at the studio. After a brief rehearsal and some lighting adjustments, we would shoot everything that we needed, and the rest of my morning would be spent editing a handful of videos. Well, about a month ago, there were some changes made. Now, in addition to all of my other responsibilities, including several that I didn't list, I'm the one on camera, too. It's kind of satisfying, really, because while millions of people have been viewing my work for years, now I'm finally the face of the finished product. Mind you, it means that I have to wear makeup now, which is kind of an odd prospect for a 2-meter tall male, but the way I see it, I just got some new equipment to complement my increased level. Besides, it gives me +2 to my charisma score. TLDR. I'm finally the face of the videos I've been making for the past 2 years. I was placed on the president's list at my university for having a 4.0. I finally realized, hey, maybe I'm decent at this whole college-ing thing. Congrats. That's quite an accomplishment. Getting accepted into college at 17, breaking away from my abusive parents, and finally being happy. It's like I've been depressed since I was a kid, and right now, at this moment, all I can feel is happiness. I met the wonderful person who loves and supports me always, and I'm on the path to my dream job. This is still so surreal to me. Wow. Well, I leveled up right after the doctor put those ear things and made me hear voices. It was noisy as heck, but absolutely a freaking level up. I can really remember the feeling, seeing a banner up above my head saying, "Well done, you earned 200 levels in your life progress. Keep it up." The day I got my first full-time job after graduating, very corporate office in the financial part of town with all the big buildings, glass and all. It was a complete shot in the dark and I never thought they'd hire someone like me. My first day on the job, I remember thinking, I'm an adult now. What I do actually matters to someone now. The moment I got away from a physically and mentally abusive partner and found someone that treats me with love and respect I deserve. This takes courage. I saw this happen to my mom in my early years. I hope you and your partner live a loving, happy life. Walking home from my first full day at my first job after breaking up with my abusive ex who said I was too dumb and lazy to get one. Undergrad felt like I completed some low-level quest. Masters felt like I leveled up. PhD felt like I unlocked a prestige class. Socially, marriage felt like I was expecting a ding sound. Or at least the Xbox achievement noise. My husband just got a raise that is all excess to our current budget we have lived on for 5 years. Every bit. We giggled because we feel like kids who suddenly leveled up and are cheating the game. We had some years where it was pretty tight and are looking forward to not increase our budget but save and travel instead. When I was finally fed up of people making fun of me and stood up for myself, I felt bad, but cause everyone else got silent and that person got embarrassed. Much like others here, mine was moving out after 24 years of living with my mom, moving 2 states away, and landing a job that has treated me very well. Sometimes I feel like the leveling up was so fast and the lack of effort I actually exhibit so low, that someone must have took pity and carried me through a lot of levels. There was a time where I would have to climb up onto the counter to get in the cabinets to get a drink cup. Then one day I realized I could reach the cabinet without climbing. Today, some hours ago I signed my first contract for a job. Sure is a low grade job that I plan to have only until I graduate, but is my first real job with a real wage. Hope you get some firm titties to congratulate you. Receiving my pilot's license. It was like getting my driver's license, graduating, and moving all at the same time. Best feeling ever. I used to be a nurse but was so burnt out that I sought a career change. I chose to give hospitality a chance and started at the bottom working for Hilton as a guest service representative, which was like I leveled down. Anyone that knows about the hospitality industry knows that it has a high turnover rate. When I first started I had a general manager that everyone knew was stealing money and doing crooked crap, but it went on like that for a while. I thought it would never change, but life will surprise the crap out of you. One day I came in and there was a new guy hanging around, who later turned out to be the head of a new management company. In a matter of days they fired the GM, promoted the assistant GM, and about 2 months after that I made guest service manager. This opened up a new side of me that I never knew existed. I really enjoy having the responsibility and have discovered that I have a natural ability to lead and form a team. At this point in my life I feel that I leveled up and that I will probably level up again in the near future. I guess you could say I earned a level and a crap ton of bonus XP LMAO. When I got my first real paycheck at my real job. Not a job I worked for the summers, not a retail job, not something I was doing during graduate school, but rather the first real paycheck that came in when I started my career. Note, I'm not saying that summer work or retail aren't real jobs or actual hard work. They are, but they weren't what I wanted for my life going forward. That was a cool freaking moment, that all the work and previous jobs and everything had paid off to get me to where I was. Haha, the other day I was just thinking about how turning 16 and becoming eligible for a driver's license felt like leveling up. Graduated with my associate's degree in music ed, arts, with Magna Cum Laude, 3.7 GPA, and Phi Theta Kappa, International Honors Society for Community Colleges. A big upgrade from depressed me with a 2.2 GPA in high school and no hope for his future. Negotiations changes at my job that included a raise. It was nerve-wracking, but I felt so proud that I did the research and got what I asked for. Graduating from college, I had a job lined up, debt-free, and an awesome degree that really can open doors, which I am still in that job, so I feel like I can do more with it. My father passing away while I was in college at age 20, went from carefree living to growing up real quick to try take care of the family after school was done. When I spotted a narcissist early in a relationship and ended things, who's got 2 thumbs and figured out how to end the cycle of abuse finally at 45, this old broad. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.